It was just officially revealed that the Punisher will be appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and personally, that excites me a lot. Jon Bernthal's Frank Castle, one of the greatest MCU characters, will finally be appearing on the big screen, let alone in a Spider-Man movie. Goodness gracious, bring the tissues, boys, because things are about to get real messy. If you don't already know, the Punisher was originally introduced as a Spider-Man villain, so this works out really well. With the rumors of Mark Ruffalo also returning as the Hulk, I guess this might kinda confirm those old leaks that Brand New Day would be about Spider-Man and Punisher teaming up against Savage Hulk, which I originally thought was really stupid, since we just had a Hulk as the main villain in a movie, and I really just want a classic Spider-Man villain. I've warmed up to it now though, mainly because Punisher and Spider-Man officially teaming up just really excites me, but I do think it could actually be really good with some tweaks. It's 3 in the morning, and I can't think of anything else to say for an intro, so this is my pitch for Spider-Man Brand New Day. First off, let's talk about the most important part of any Marvel movie, the story. Nah, I'm totally kidding. It's the box office potential. Of course, when you're making a movie, the thing that matters most is how much money that movie makes. Let's be honest, who cares if the movie's good? We just need to sell tickets. Now, I was looking at the July 2026 releases, and I saw that Brand New Day only releases 1 week after Paw Patrol the Dino movie, which is obviously gonna have legs for at least a month. Since we don't want to deal with that competition, I propose delaying Spider-Man 4 until December 2026, and then delaying Doomsday and Secret Wars even further. That way, it can be another wintry Christmas movie like No Way Home. You know what else would bring in some major dollars? Having Terry Malone, Velocity, and Edenverse cameo in the movie. They're the 3 newest subscribers to the channel, and they're absolute legends. If you want a shout out in the next video, be sure to subscribe. In my opinion, Terry Malone would solo the Hulk, so you don't even need to have Spider-Man or the Punisher appear. Velocity and Edenverse bring that spice though. You never know what's gonna go down when they show up on screen. The rumors of Brand New Day kind of being like the Batman in that Peter spends more time as Spider-Man than Peter Parker really intrigues me. I mean, it makes sense. He pretty much lost Peter Parker as much as he lost MJ and Aunt May. I would also want Peter to just be severely mentally struggling throughout this movie. He's lost himself, he's lost his purpose, and in some moments he feels like he's lost his will to live. He puts on the mask and beats up criminals to distract him from that. He needs constant adrenaline pumping through his veins to distract his mind. He doesn't sleep, he spends his nights on the streets taking on criminals like Shocker and Prowler. When he is Peter Parker though, he spends his days either studying at Empire State University or honoring Aunt May by continuing to work at Feast, which is where he meets Martin Lee. Mr. Negative would be the main villain in this movie, not the Hulk, because why would you have the Hulk be the main villain in a Spider-Man movie? Mr. Negative would run the Inner Demon Gang, a gang attempting to take over after Wilson Fisk's policies created chaos in the streets of New York. Frank Castle is hunting down the gang and is dead set on killing Lee after finding out that he's using Feast as a front for trafficking, and is behind the disappearances of hundreds of teens that are homeless or from underdeveloped neighborhoods. I do think it will be interesting seeing how they handle Punisher in a PG-13 setting. I mean, you certainly can't be expecting the same level of violence and maturity that he had in the shows. I just hope they don't water him down too much and still give him those tough monologues, as long as they aren't about when Peter's bedtime should be. At Empire State University, Peter would meet new people who would attempt to enter his life, but he closes them off. One of those people would be Carly Cooper, played by Sadie Sink, who's studying to become a forensic scientist. Peter also bonds with Bruce Banner, who's at ESU for like a week-long guest lecture. Bruce can tell that Peter is feeling a lot of complex emotions, and he attempts to counsel him, teaching him to control his anger and become more stable. As Spider-Man, he crosses paths with Frank after also going after Mr. Negative and the Inner Demon Gang. They're both reluctant to, but they eventually team up after realizing they both have assets that the other needs to stop Martin Lee. They have to fight first though, because that would be sick and pay homage to Punisher's first appearance. At first, Peter is strongly against Frank's killing, creating a huge moral rift and conflict between the two. But as the film goes on, Frank almost corrupts Peter in his broken state, leading him to become incredibly brutal, beating members of the gang to near death. That's when Frank realizes that the members of the gang are the trafficked teens. Lee has used his powers to alter their minds and emotionally control them to do his bidding. Frank's no different. He turned Peter, this kid who was broken and needed guidance, into a vengeful machine. Peter reminds him of his son, and Frank realizes that if his son were still alive, the last thing he would want is for him to turn out like his father. So why turn Spider-Man into the Punisher? Frank gets through to Peter, finally approaching him not as the Punisher, but as Frank Castle, the father, a man who comes out for the very first time since his family died. He tells him that he can't turn back. He's already embraced the Punisher, and no matter how hard he tried, he would never be able to shake that. But it's not too late for Peter. Peter breaks and confesses that he wants to live. He doesn't want to be sucked away into an abyss as the mask takes over, but he doesn't know how to move on after he's lost everything. Frank says that sometimes there is no bright future to look forward to. Sometimes you truly have lost everything, and while fighting may not change things, sitting there and accepting it definitely won't either. You only have two options. Let the darkness consume you, or move forward, do something about it. It really is just black and white. With a changed mindset, Peter is finally ready to take on Mr. Negative, but that's when Martin Lee somehow alters Bruce Banner's brain chemistry to bring back the Savage Hulk. Spider-Man and the Punisher team up to fight Savage Hulk on the streets of New York City. What is Punisher gonna do in that fight, you ask? Jack shit. Spider-Man just carries. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do against the Hulk with a gun? But yeah, they subdue the Hulk, calm him down, and then they all team up to take down Mr. Negative. We get a sick group shot of the three. Peter says something along the lines of, "What are we, some kind of Spider-Man brand new day?" And then the movie ends, bada bing, bada boom. In the end, Peter would start to open up more, and he would start dating Harley Cooper. We would also get a cliffhanger with Matt Gargan finally appearing as the Scorpion, and he would be one of, if not the main villain in Spider-Man 5. And then Frank asks Peter what his pronouns are. So yeah, that's what I think Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be about based on everything we've heard, with some themes I would like to see tackled thrown in there. I have practice in like 30 minutes, and running 7 miles without sleep at 5 in the morning is already bad enough, so I kind of need this video to end now. That's all the outro you're going to get.